Broadcasting from the Merritt Hall Studios out of Carson City, Nevada. You're listening to Covering the Field with Big Richard Martin, Gator Gates, and Joe the Answer Ellison.
This is Covering the Field. This is Big Richard Martin. I'm along here with Gator Gates, Joe the Answer Ellison, and we're reporting live from the MXE Studios in Northern Nevada, Ponderosa Pine Country. Great to be here, and we're in week 6 of the NFL, gentlemen.
Can you believe it? I can't believe it.
It just flies by, doesn't it?
1/3 of the season will be done by the end of the week. The regular season.
The regular season.
Yes.
And just to say, you guys are talking about who we thought were going to win each division. I'm just saying, I got everybody in 1 and 2 in mind, who I've mixed in there. You got the Chiefs, of course. We got Jaguar. Everybody's tied in the AFC South. Yeah. The AFC North, no one knows what the hell's going on in that division. It looks like Baltimore wants to be a favorite in there, and they keep stubbing their own toe. The Bills go down again this week. Across the pond, great reporting by both of you guys, telling us that 1-5 against Buffalo in their last 6 games, and also that Jacksonville was over there for an extra week and gives them a bit more acclimated to the country, to the time frames, and it looked like 2 different teams. I couldn't believe it.
No, you're exactly right.
Buffalo flying in on Friday, not a good strategy. They definitely did not acclimate at all. They were asleep. Right. Why not just fly in on Tuesday or Wednesday or something?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they want to spend time with their families. I'm sure they have their days off. I'm sure there might be something to do with the NFL's bargaining union. Might have something to do with pulling them away that long. I think you do have to have time frames that you get to spend time with at home and have days off. I think that does have to.
Didn't think about that, Big Richard.
Too big of an advantage for Jacksonville. I don't think they should be playing 2 games in a row in England. I
agree with that too, Joe. Good point.
Buffalo looks so good against Miami.
Amazing.
And then looked so bad. And then just looked like it was 5 points, right? 25-20. Yeah. I think that if you look at the yardage and just the way the game was played, I think Jacksonville should have won by 2 touchdowns at least. They played way better than Buffalo.
No, Buffalo did well just to lose by 5, I thought, at the end. Obviously, people want to talk about the San Francisco-Dallas game. I don't. We can make this quick if you want. It wasn't much of a game
to talk about. Crush the Cowboys. Embarrassing when they have to sit your starting quarterback in the 4th quarter. They already sent McCaffrey into the showers. With the beginning of the 4th quarter, the game was well in hand. The Niners, dominant. Dominant's the only thing you can say. It's only week 5.
They've been pretty good this year. Not too bad.
Very good.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's only 2 undefeated teams left.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Obviously, I think the advantage goes to the Niners the way they look now. Brock Purdy looks like a franchise quarterback.
Right. As long as he stays healthy, then they look pretty strong.
Yeah. As long as they block the outside rush so you don't mess up his elbow.
Right. Like in the Philly playoff.
Exactly. Which I lost on that game, and I'm still a little bit hurt on that.
Oh, I ended up on the right side of that one.
You took the Niners?
No. The right side of the playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
No, I took the over, actually, and I lucked out because it got there.
Barely, because they didn't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, Dallas, 49ers.
Phillies went over, and Dallas went. And
the game went over, and the halftime went over. So if you took the over, you definitely won on that. If you didn't want to bet the side, that was the way to go. I would mention Cincinnati did beat Arizona and actually looked like their normal Cincinnati selves. So
that was we said last week. Stay away from Joe. You said stay away from Joe Burrow. I think he showed he's back. There's no question. Mm-hmm. Now we get back on the Cincinnati team that's favored to go to the Super Bowl, and some people have to win.
Yes.
Might be too late, you guys know.
It's not too late. They were 1 game out of first in that North Division.
So that's wide open.
That's wide open.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and as we mentioned last show, Chicago got their first win. So hooray for Chicago.
Yeah.
And those were probably the biggest games of last weekend.
Well, I think we have to talk about, first of all, Baltimore just tumbling in the second half. Didn't score any points. How did that happen? You called it. You said Lamar Jackson cannot play. There's a curse on him in Pittsburgh. and I was getting ready to writing everything down to show you how wrong you were, Joe. And now I have to eat a little crow and say, you were right. There's something definitely there. When you're getting ready to go up by 10 points, you're up by 3, and you're on the 3-yard line. Lamar Jackson, Bonehead Jackson, throws a pick. You can't throw a pick in that situation.
Just the way that play was set up, they did a little shotgun snap to him, and he just immediately throws it up there. It just wasn't a very good play. Whoever designed that play, it just didn't.
It wasn't a good throw either.
No, it wasn't a good throw either.
But okay, so well, still, I mean,
so Lamar Jackson's record is now 1-6 against the Steelers. Not just
that's just
overall.
That's just anything
Overall.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought that might have been just in.
Has he been around that long to play that?
Heinz Field,
maybe it was Heinz Field. I can't remember now.
Okay, but we can't. Anyway. It was good. One other thing I want to hit on. We did have the Wilson Bowl. We talked about the lousy Broncos and the lousy Zach Wilson, and actually Garrett Wilson didn't play good. So out of those 4, the Wilson football played the best.
And the way it bounced at the end could be a You Got Host story.
It very well could be.
It is.
Exactly. Blew all my parlay tickets up. I thought for sure that Sean Payton would not let Nathaniel Hackett come in there, and after all the trash talking about how bad he is, and then lay an egg in the second half. But Broncos have laid an egg every game in the second half. So,
pretty much.
Yeah. So
they're a first half team. So bet them in the first half, bet against them in the second half. Then you'd be doing really well right now.
You would be. So good job. I was 4-3 last week. How were you there? Do you know the answer?
Oh, like 4-0, of course.
Wow.
I have to. That's 7-0 for the last 2 weeks. But before we get to that, I want to go over some stats we've been saying to lean towards the underdogs and the under. Last week, 7 favorites, 7 underdogs, pretty even there. You know, all 7 of those underdogs actually won the game outright, which is pretty
amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And 6 road teams won straight up. But the unders, again, 9 unders and 5 overs.
Wow.
So overall this year, 42 underdogs, 36 favorites through week 5, 40 road teams that won straight up, 42 underdogs that won straight up. But the unders, 44 unders and 34 overs. So it's leaning that way again this year.
How many is that for the year? What was the totals?
44 unders and 34 overs.
So by 10.
Yeah.
Wide margin.
Yes. So, yes, I did go 4-0 last week. I had Pittsburgh plus the points. They went outright. Miami beat up on the sad Giants. The under in the New Orleans-New England game and the under in the Kansas City-Minnesota game. Thank God New England didn't score. Got the under there.
It looked like that was an over all the way. Who would have thought that would happen?
I always had a shot. And Kansas City, Minnesota was driving at the end, did not score that touchdown to tie the game, and bada bing, bada boom, I hit all 4. And so, yes, over the last 2 weeks, 7-0.
Wow.
I'm on fire.
That is
a perfect. I didn't go very deep in math in college, but 100%, I believe that is for the last
100%. That is on. You're on honor roll on.
Yes. But we did that last year too. Started off slow the last first few weeks. And then was like 70% after about the 4th week. So, I mean.
Well, Gator, give him a pat on the back so he doesn't have to break his arm patting him on the back.
So hard. It could be due for a bad week.
He's not called Joe the Answer Ellison for nothing.
Okay, so we need to listen to you during this part. But before we get into our picks next week, we need to go over some injuries.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson, the biggest one. I mean, that's the number 1 receiver. Lands on the IR. That's at least 4
Minnesota,
weeks.
yeah.
That messes with a lot of fantasy teams.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people saying 4-letter words.
Well, yeah, and then you got Kirk Cousins. What are the Vikings 1-4? Mm-hmm. Why even play Jefferson? Why not trade Kirk Cousins? Why not just call the season already?
There's not a lot of quarterbacks around, Joe.
I know, but the Jets could use one, obviously.
Well, I picked the Lions to win that division, and they look like that's a Lion kick right there. It looks very good. I mean, there's no one else that looks good in that whole division, except for maybe Chicago's offense. I think Gator hit on that last week about Justin Fields.
Right.
They're going to have some very good draft picks, and they have 2 in the first. Probably the first 10 picks.
There you go. Could you see Fields being in Minnesota?
Right now, I think the project for the first and second pick.
Yes,
I'm not mistaken.
Where they are now.
That's exactly.
Where there's always the Broncos.
Yeah.
So you always got to do worse than the Broncos. And the second half doesn't look very well.
Okay. Other injuries, right? Indianapolis quarterback Anthony Richardson sprained AC joint. He's out 4 weeks, but I don't really see that a huge deal because Gardner Minshew is the backup.
Playing very well.
Good veteran backup.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to really lose a whole lot.
No, they run the ball there, and they have two very good with Zach Moss playing very well at the running back.
Right.
And now you got Taylor coming back. You got a 1-2 punch. I liked Richardson. I like when he was running the ball. Then you had a 3-way punch on the ground.
Yeah.
But they like to run the ball. They play pretty good defense there.
Well, that's his game, running the ball also, but that's how he got hurt too. So
right.
You got to be careful.
You pay we're not paying those running backs very much money to get hurt. We get another one, not a quarterback, for sure, especially a franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, James Conner, running back for Arizona, he's out at least a couple of weeks.
Now he hit the IR, so it was at least 4.
Oh, it's 4 now.
Yeah, at least 4.
Okay, all right. That Devin A-Chain, right? Miami's running back. He's been averaging
rookie from Texas A&M.
12 yards a carry. This kid, he's
a 4.340, and that's all Miami wants is fast people, and then they definitely have fast players. And so, but they're going to have Jeff Wilson coming. Right now, he's coming off the IR. One's going on the IR. One's coming off. It's fine.
Maybe not.
Horses in that stable. Yeah.
Okay. Buffalo lost a couple key defenders. Matt Milano, the linebacker,
big one,
leg and knee, and their defensive tackle Daquan Jones is also out. So that's 2 starters. So just like that, they lose the game in.
Millar, what kind of injury do you have? Because he came off. They put an air cast on him. They carted him off. Is that a season-ending?
It did look like a season-ending injury.
Okay, that'll help him out.
It did not seem to be a season.
He's all over the field. I mean, he's a very good linebacker.
And Dallas, Leighton Van Der Esch, their linebacker, is out. Detroit lost a cornerback, Emmanuel Mosley, I believe, done for the season. We're not sure if Travis Kelce is going to play tomorrow for the Chiefs.
Why would he?
Is this Wednesday? Why would he?
Why would he? You're playing the Broncos. I mean, you really need Kelce. I mean, as long as Patrick Mahomes is out there and we got somebody to block.
Yeah.
Well, he's a key player. Obviously, he's the main.
Very key player.
That's why you don't want to play him.
That's why you give him time to heal
up. Who are you going to throw it to now? It's like, oh my God.
It doesn't matter. You're playing the Broncos.
You got Magic Mahomes.
He's going to have to be
a little more
magical.
Run the ball.
And they're in Kansas City?
Yes. 10.5.
So you're saying Kelce and Taylor Swift might not be in the stadium?
Yeah. She might be healing his injury.
Okay, good.
Good for her. Yeah. But it won't be out on the field anymore. So do you want to start with some picks? I think that's
I think if you're 7-0, I think you've got the honors to start. By 3, it looks like
this week,
it's like the Broncos defense compared to you.
Your head can get a little big when you're on fire like this, and you've been
your wall's getting big. Your wall's getting big. You don't care about that. Exactly.
So I could be 7-7 after 3 weeks because I made 7 picks this week because I'm feeling really confident.
Well, good.
Okay, we're going to start Sunday morning. Baltimore and Tennessee, the under, the 41 points in England. Each team's 4-1 unders. Tennessee, going back to last year, they're 8-1 under in their last 9 games. Baltimore's 11-4 under against the AFC. The way Tennessee plays is just not too pretty, and the way Baltimore's offense looks. Not that great.
And also, Baltimore defense played better than that score. They had them shut out for most of the game. They had 3 points going into the fourth quarter. And they scored that touchdown. A safety, and then, changed the whole field position. So I think that Baltimore defense is a little better. They still got banged. They're still banged up in the DB department, but Baltimore's always good.
Yes, that's going to be an ugly game in England.
That good pick.
A lot of games in England do end up low scoring.
You're right, exactly.
Because you're overseas, you're out of your element, and you're out of your routine.
Okay. Well, I hate to do this because every time I bet on or against San Francisco, I lose. But San Francisco minus 5.5 at Cleveland. What can you say about San Francisco? That was impressive enough, wasn't it? Last week they're undefeated. Yeah. 4-1 against the spread.
Watson's still injured, I believe. He's showing up questionable. I don't know if he practiced. We have to look and see if he practices Thursday or Friday. That's a big.
Well, that's because the one game he didn't play, they lost 28-3.
Yes, against Baltimore.
To Baltimore. And does he really want to play against the San Francisco defense?
Not really.
Can he just sit out and just wait one more week?
Probably still be in first place at 2-4.
Yeah. wouldn't want to injure his penis or anything. He's got a massage parlor to go to somewhere, and in Cleveland, we can't have that. But when you look at San Francisco, they won all their games by 7 or more points. This spread is only 5.5. I definitely expect this to
Well,
go
Cleveland's
up.
defense plays good.
Yes,
And
they have to be
they're at home.
super low.
But I think McCaffrey and that offense is just clicking. I mean, they blew through
They-
Dallas's defense like they were Swiss cheese. And
Right. Since that, I don't know if it's been since the trade, but 13-2-1 against the spread in their last 16 games. San Francisco has
That's
been
big.
amazing.
That's big.
let's take it.
So let's do that.
I'm with you. That's one of my picks.
With a little question mark because I always lose when I bet on San Francisco. But anyway, Miami minus 13.5 home against Carolina. Miami's, pretty awesome at home. 4-1 against the spread this year.
Carolina.
12-4 against spread. They won by 15 and 50 in their home games this year. Carolina is the worst team in football. What can you say? They haven't won a game.
I would have
That's
to say.
that's hard to,
I would have
hard
to say that I think that the Broncos are pretty close
that's what's
second.
our heart, though, Big Vision. That's what's our heart.
I think they're going in the right direction. The Broncos go to the wrong direction. I do like the quarterback. I think you just got to give him time.
Carolina 0-4-1 against the spread. Carolina. They have
Yeah.
not come. I know Justin Jefferson is out, but I'm still going to go Minnesota and Chicago over the 44.5 in Chicago. All 5 of their games, Chicago, have gone over. At home, the totals were 58 and 59 points total. I only need 45 in this one.
Right.
Feeling pretty good about
Somebody
Chicago
got-
scoring.
somebody got to step up.
Yeah. Justin
And
Fields
giving
is
it a-
averaging, they've got to be over 30 points a game averaging. So they're
Right.
definitely.
Well, here we go again. New Orleans and Houston under 42.5 points in Houston. New Orleans is just the automatic. 11 straight unders they've played. 5-0 under this season. The highest total they've had so far this year is 37 together with the opponent, and this is 42.5.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a lock.
Seems pretty high.
Well, the New Orleans defense is just playing lights out.
Amazing.
They
I
are.
mean, they gave up one game, I think, over 26 at Tampa Bay. They lost it. Yeah.
That's the only one they
That's
give
the only
up.
one. Yeah. Well,
17. So
right.
pretty solid. New England and Las Vegas under 41 points in Vegas. I mean, New England can't score.
Mm-hmm.
4-0-1 unders. The highest they've scored is 20 points this year. Las Vegas is 4 out of 5 games under. The highest they've scored all year is 18 points.
So another one to look at be like prop bets on that game. Garoppolo was at I want to say it was 235 over for passing yards. I think if we get that kind of numbers because he's not going to throw over 250 against the Patriots. I don't
They
see it.
not even need to throw the ball.
Exactly.
Patriots have scored 3 points in the last 2 weeks total.
Right. So
That's
check the props on that one. That's always
It's
a
going
good
to be
one.
hard to bet the over on that one. Let's take the under, please.
Yeah.
And the last one, the Buffalo minus 14 at home against the Giants.
high.
Boy, is it high.
I mean, that's a rivalry.
The Giants haven't covered
In
a
a
game yet this year, but when you look at Buffalo at home, they won each of their 2 games by 28 points.
I
They just
think we have
dominated.
to look at this London thing too. They're flying back from London.
There could be a little
Could
fatigue,
be a little
perhaps,
fatigue problem with
but they
the
lost.
travel. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You win or lose, you still got to
Yeah.
travel across the
No
pond.
travel, but
And I think that just messes up your routine. And I just think, I don't think they can play that bad 2 weeks in a row. So I think
Minus
they-
900 on the money line.
yeah, I don't
Wow.
see Buffalo losing that game. The
That's
Giants.
9-1.
That's
Yeah,
right.
put them 9 to win one.
Okay, so those are my 7 picks.
Okay, I
All
think
right.
a couple more. You got any more, Gator? You got one you want to put up?
Well, the one that when I was looking at this and I first started looking at it, the one that popped out at me was Indianapolis +4. Now, I don't know if that's still
At
+4
Jacksonville, right?
at Jacksonville.
Okay,
If they lose, I don't see them losing by 4, and Jacksonville has to come back from London, just like we
Well,
were talking about
For
Buffalo.
2 weeks. 2 weeks have been over there.
So
Yeah.
I do like Indy.
okay. And you do know the history
Yes,
in Jacksonville. Jacksonville
I do.
beats them almost
Every single time.
They
Yeah,
beat
and
them
that,
since
that's trend
2014.
has to lose.
2014 was the last time.
7 or 8 times in a row.
Now, if you guys want to gamble, they're at a +170 out on the money line.
Uh-huh. Well,
I
that's
would
pretty,
say that's a gamble.
that's pretty bold and goes against the trend.
Well,
Yes,
you know,
it does.
well, the home teams win and they usually split, right? I mean, that's kind of,
Mhm.
that's kind
Correct.
of we're talking about this
Here-
AFC South.
some more stats. Jacksonville 13-2-1 against the spread against Indianapolis the last 16 games. So just
I just saying that I understand, Joe. I understand. You start looking, you start handicapping this. You see Jacksonville.
It does.
I like Indy. I bet that trend's got to end sometime.
Well, it'll end.
We already talked that we'd like to run the ball. And what's the under over on that? That's
46 and a half.
I think it's going to be. I think that's an under game. What you
say? That's what I say. That 46.
Well, it did go down to 45 and a half. So
okay,
they're
doing 45. We're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they like to run the ball. They play good defense, and
they do. Correct.
So that was the one, huh?
Yeah, that was the one that popped out. But Joe, I can't argue.
A great one. He just has one. I mean,
I can't argue with
Joe.
Joe.
To go undefeated like he did last week.
I got a feeling I'm not going to be undefeated after this week.
Well,
I'll be 14-0.
I like what you're doing. I'm definitely going to be. I'm going to be wagering some of those bets myself. The one I like is Cincinnati. We said don't bet on Joe Burrow until he's healthy. He's definitely looks healthy. He looks back. I think it's the Cincinnati team, the Super Bowl team, the AFC Championship team, that they are -2.5 at home over Seattle. I think they win. If they win, they're going to win by more than 3 points. And I can't see Seattle going into Cincinnati and getting that win.
No, neither do I.
Tough game. I like both teams.
So you take the home team. Joe, you said you waited until he showed you. So now he showed you. Now you take some money on it.
All right.
Okay, another one. Another one like Tampa Bay +3 over Detroit. Everybody's already putting Detroit in the NFC Championship game. Let's just pump your brakes a little bit. This is a division game. Not a division game, but I mean, those guys definitely, Detroit, it's in the conference. I think that Tampa Bay at home, coming off a bye week, you're getting points.
Okay.
And so, as we said, Seattle went in and beat Detroit at Detroit. Mike Evans is on a contract here. He's playing great. Baker's playing good enough to get the job done. Like you said, they beat New Orleans at home. I think that they can take this game, take the 3 points at least.
They were on the road when they beat New Orleans.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
they're at home
they did
now, right?
Yeah, they're at home.
Oh yeah.
3 points at home.
Well, that could actually be a slight problem. Detroit is in their last 15 games. They've been amazing. The end of last season and this season, 13-2 against the spread, 10-4 against the spread against Tampa Bay the last 14 meetings. And Tampa Bay, when they play at home, I guess slightly worse than on the road because they're 3-9-1 against the spread home in their last 13 games. So maybe there might be better to take them on the road than at home. I'm worried about that game.
They're going to be shooting the cannons.
I'm worried about
cannons. They're going to be shooting. The swashbuckler guy is going to be running around with his sword. Tampa Bay is going to pull an upset in this one. You take the home dogs.
Home dogs, yeah, I know.
With the points.
I'm not in a rush to bet against Detroit.
This is the one who I am in a rush to bet against. That's the Jets. I think Philadelphia is only -7. Okay, you're going to be playing against Jalen Hurts. This is not Russell Wilson's Broncos. Zach Wilson's going to get enough heat. The only thing that Philly, what I'm really surprised is their defensive backs not been playing very well. It seems like they give up a lot of passing yards. Seems like they're not getting to the quarterback as much as they were last year.
They do have holes. I mean, I'm sure the 49ers are looking at that tape. You know what I'm saying? And there is holes like you're saying.
But they do stop the run. I mean, they have a great run stopping defense. So that's advantage to, I think, if you can stop the run, then Zach Wilson's got to beat you.
Can't.
Zach Wilson's got to beat you. And if Zach Wilson's going to lose it for you more than he's going to win it for you. So I think you're just going to play the defense against Zach Wilson, and I think Philly would cover that.
You could be definitely onto something here. The last 10 times these teams have met, Philly's won every game.
Wow.
10-0 against the Jets.
So they're the green. There's only one green machine, and that's the Eagles.
And the last 6, the Philly has also covered against the Jets. And Philly is an amazing road team. So
yeah,
10
and Jalen Hurts. I mean, they're the best team with that tush push. I mean, when you have 4th and 1, they're 93%. They get that 1 yard. They can't stop it.
It's unstoppable.
It's only 7% chance to stop it, even when you know it's coming. So Jalen Hurts, he squats like 600 pounds.
He's amazing.
So he's a great athlete, and he definitely he's pushing the weight like the lineman on the squat machine. So he's definitely pushing that pile. He's like having another lineman out there pushing.
Mm-hmm. And just like anything that seems to work every time, people want to get rid of that play, say, "Oh, it's illegal somehow." I don't know how you can make it illegal. They're lined up legally.
Well, they played the Rams, and the Rams have one of the best defensive tackles in the league in Aaron Donald. And they put everybody up front, know it's coming, and they still couldn't. And it was not even close. It wasn't even like you don't need the sticks. He's a full yard and a half in front of it.
No.
So
if you could run that play every single play, you'd get about 6 yards.
Well, at least 2 or 3.
Three. Yes. That would give you a first down every time.
Might be worth it.
That just might
But anyway,
have definitely when it's 4th and 1 advantage.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And I think a lot of teams are going to copy that play. Because it's,
there's not very many Jalen Hurts to push as much. I mean, Baker Mayfield's not going to push the pile.
Some guys are going to, they're going to need to push him a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I guess is that it for our picks?
That's it from a picks there. I'm trying to catch up with you here a little bit. I mean, I've been in the plus money 2 weeks in a row, so I'm pretty happy with that. But definitely. Nice. Well, let's move to college football.
I did want to thank Butch the Butcher Roberts for a lot of those stat trends that.
Yeah, of course. Keep them coming.
Pretty good stuff.
Keep chopping them up, Butch.
All right. Yes. So yes, college had an interesting week. As of course, it's always
had a bad week, and bad week. 3-5 for Big Rich this week.
I saw 3-4-1. I saw you getting a push on one.
Okay, so maybe 3-4-1 might be a little bit better. But the ones I missed, I mean, you talk about a whiff. I'm talking about they definitely pulled a Oakland A's batting average on that one because I wasn't even close to the ball on the Georgia game. Oh my goodness!
Boy, what happened to Georgia? And they're still number one.
They have to be number one.
Yeah.
They had 600 yards of offense.
Yeah, they easily the best game they played.
Oh, when you have no turnovers. I mean, they had no turnovers. I mean, and one thing, Kentucky never turned the ball over either. So it's not like you got a bunch of, lopsided, when Miami scored 70, they had, 3 court and sentence fumbles and a pick 6.
Yep.
And kind of doesn't tell the whole story, but the whole story is you had 608 yards offense, and it wasn't like they were picking the ball off; they were stopping them. They were 2 for 9 on 3rd down.
2 for 9.
Wow. They were just getting stopped. They were 3 and out all day. The Dogs skinned the Cats 51-13, and that score wasn't even that close. I mean, the game wasn't even that close.
That was a big surprise to me too.
Well, yeah, because they were like 0-3-1 against the spread. I mean, they were horrible, and Kentucky ran the ball well. And I thought with Auburn running the ball well against them the week before, that was their strength. And Auburn, you can't pass the ball, so they're going to run it. So
Kentucky was undefeated,
and boy, they're defeated now. Now defeated now. Yeah, they're off to the Sunshine Bowl or Blockbuster Bowl or something. Okay. They definitely.
All right.
Their odds are no longer 200-1. I guarantee you, they moved to the 500-1 to win the national championship.
What a shame.
But we have to talk about the Red River.
Of course.
I was going to let you bring it up.
Okay, but first of all, they say you can't call it a shootout. I'm still calling it a shootout.
It is what it is.
A shootout.
It is what it is.
Last year, only one team was shooting, and that was Texas 49-0. This year, different story when Gabriel's playing, right?
Young Gabriel.
Yeah. Great player. What his odds are to win the Heisman Trophy? That would be a good one to pick because he's 6-0. And, if he runs the table,
he's there.
He looked like the MVP against Texas. He sure didn't look – he looked great. He looked like he running the ball, running the offense.
He's down the list, though, unfortunately.
Right.
And when you look at the North Carolina quarterback, Washington.
May, and you got Michael Penix.
Yeah.
You got Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And that does do something with the voting, too, right? Being from the school that you're from.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma has a whole string of Heisman Trophy winners. Yes. And I'm telling you right now, I think the kid's good. If nothing else, he's good enough for pick in the NFL draft for sure, if he's going to do that. So,
well, he'll have to beat more likely Texas again in the championship game, not lose any games the entire season, and then he could possibly win it.
Not sure what the schedule is, but that's way possible.
Its schedule's easy.
Yeah, way possible.
It's very doable.
Georgia has Vanderbilt this week, and they're giving up 31 points, and Vanderbilt, its only win is against Hawaii.
Yeah, really? They're terrible.
Yeah.
And, Oklahoma did lose a wide receiver, Anthony, for the season. And he's a tremendous wide receiver, is a transfer from Michigan.
Okay.
And so that's going to be a loss. But
the defense, they won the ball on the defensive side of that game.
3 turnovers.
Texas, yes. And on the first drive, first drive, they
3 turnovers
picked off.
Stuffing him on a 2-yard line or 1-yard line that one time. The defense definitely showed up.
And definitely they were the more physical team, and you don't usually say that against Texas. And so congratulations to the Sooners. Yeah. You guys are on your way of not only winning the Big 12 this year, but maybe looking like an SEC contender next year.
Still ranked only like 7th in some polls.
But you look at their cupcake schedule now. I mean, they're playing. They should move on. They should have no problem. I mean, that was the game they had to circle. So we have to look at them a little bit, what games they have in the future. But I don't see anybody out of that Big 12 that's gonna.
No,
TCU's no threat anymore.
It'd be a surprise,
right?
If Oklahoma lost. I guess Louisville beating Notre Dame. That's big because Notre Dame now is eliminated from the championship race. And Louisville still undefeated,
33-20.
Yeah,
and how do you got like that? No, I mean, I don't think anybody saw that. I think everybody was
13
looking. Maybe you think Notre Dame was looking ahead to the USC game. I don't know how you do it when you have to play an undefeated top 20 team. I don't think you look past a Louisville team.
Right.
And Louisville, Jake Plummer, he was 17 for Jack Plummer. Sorry, Jake. Yeah, right. Is this the son of?
I just assumed because it was spelled the same that they were related. I didn't look that up.
We're gonna look that up on our. We have to do that on our next Sink or Swimming.
If they keep going like this,
right? But he was he played a pretty good game. Didn't play a great game. 17 of 24, 145 yards and a touchdown. So he's definitely controlling the ball, not giving the ball over. But I mean, Jordan had 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it shows you that they ran the ball. They were more physical than Notre Dame. And Sam Hartman had 3 interceptions. Well, so he is out of the Heisman Trophy. Yeah. He's definitely off
with 2 losses, he's done.
He's done.
And perhaps they were looking ahead to USC. Maybe USC was looking ahead to Notre Dame. USC, 43-41 against Arizona in 3 overtimes?
Yeah.
That was not an impressive performance, but this is a typical Lincoln Riley team.
Yeah.
Score a lot, don't play any defense. So that score was perfectly normal.
Okay, so you want to talk about USC. USC, they average 56 points a game, number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
But they also give up 396 yards a game on their defense, total defense. Yeah. And that is ranked 112th in the FBS. And you know how many FBS teams there are?
I'm going to say somewhere in the area of 136 or so.
It is 130. You're very close. 130. Very close. 130 teams, and they are 112. So not very good defense, just like you said. But Caleb Williams is just on fire right now. I mean, he just took off where he was. I mean, if you look at this guy and you put a number 15 in a Kansas City Chiefs, the way he throws the ball sidearms, the way he runs the ball, the way he controls the offense, I think he's the closest that we're going to get to, Magic Mahomes coming out of the draft.
No, well, I already hate him having transferred from Oklahoma to USC.
How can
my
you
favorite
guy that is
to my most hated team. You just can't.
Because he went off your Oklahoma Sooners because he followed his coach. If you want to hate anybody, hate the coach. Coach would have stayed. He would have stayed.
Good point.
Well, he took the money, went to Southern California.
Hopefully, when he ends up in the NFL, he ends up on a team I can be okay with.
Maybe like Dallas Cowboys.
He ain't going there. He's going to be gone before that. He might end up in New England. How about that? That'd be interesting.
That's terrible.
Belichick revival.
No.
Caleb Williams. It could happen.
Okay. So let's get to some picks.
One last game, the Georgia Tech Miami game.
Oh,
Georgia Tech 23, Miami 20.
What's the name of that coach?
Cristobal.
Yeah. Talk about the bonehead of the day, huh? That guy, took a kneel. They called it a victory formation for a reason. The best formation in football.
Right.
Had one play just to run out the clock, and he decided to let his running back have a little bit of love, coughs it up, and then the Hail Mary goes the other way, and you lose the game.
He just wasn't covered. The safety over there is supposed to be this tremendous player. He didn't cover that guy. And he was
already probably sipping a little bit of the champagne, thinking that he already won the game. And you ever think about that?
Well, I'm thinking to the coach, he could have been fired on the spot for that. He deserves that.
That was the bonehead play. But still, you can recover. They can still win the ACC and might not get them. I mean, if they run the table, they have a good shot of being at Miami has a good shot of getting into the Final Four.
Yeah, but they have to play North Carolina.
They have to play North Carolina this week, and then they have to.
So that was Miami's first loss?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Here comes another
one. What a horrible loss. Okay.
Get it out of the way.
All right. Well, we can get into your picks.
Okay, let's get into some
Rich.
picks. Let's make some Big Rich picks. Love this one on Thursday night. So we're going to get the show out earlier this week. Glad, thanks to that. The Cornelius working this so we can get the show out before the picks. For the games are on Thursday. West Virginia -2.5 at Houston. Houston has a horrible record this year. West Virginia should have no problem going into Houston and covering that 2.5.
Okay.
Friday, my game here, Colorado Buffaloes. This is the Big Rich get rich pick. I'm telling you right now, Colorado's only giving 11.5. Travis Hunter is playing. He is back, the two-way starter. Travis Henry, I'm sorry, and that's Travis Hunter. Yeah, Travis Hunter is the two-way starter, and he said as long as his win's good, he's good. So I guarantee that kid plays both ways. He's not, even if they just put him on defense. You don't even really need him on offense. Colorado should have any problem with the points that they score. Like you said last week, Stanford lost to
Sac State.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and then Colorado, I think they're coming off a bye. I think right, they're off a bye this week, and so they played USC 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
last time they played. I think you're going to see a really high scoring game.
Yeah, Stanford's easily the worst team in the Pac-12. So.
Yes, exactly. So I love that game on Friday. So make a little bit of money on Thursday, Friday, then you can have your money. Let's talk about the game of the week. Oregon visits Washington.
Yeah.
2 top 10 Pac-12 teams. The winner of this will be the odds-on favorite to probably make it to the Final Four.
Like Oregon.
And you got USC still in there, but I mean.
You dare pick this game.
I think we just have to talk a little bit. Let's talk about Bo Nix. He has an 80% completion rating. He transfer in from Auburn.
Yes.
He's thrown 1 interception all year, 15 touchdowns, and he averages 290 yards per game. So the thing is that Oregon rushes the ball pretty good. They're averaging 223 yards rushing, and that's 9th in the nation. So they can run the ball in.
And going into Washington ain't going to hurt them.
Let's just talk about Michael Penix. Okay, let's talk about Michael Penix. He's 16 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. These numbers could be higher. He only played 1 game into the fourth quarter.
Right.
They pull him in the third quarter every game because it's already out of hand. He has 400 yards per game. Just under 2,000 yards already this year. 1 yard under 2,000. He has a 75% completion rate, so he passes basically good. And they've only had only had 40 some third downs all year. So they're getting it done. They're not even getting to third down. They're scoring before they get to third down.
The receivers are amazing.
The receivers are amazing. They're at home. The over opened at, I want to say it opened at 67. It's opened at 64, and now it's at 67.
Wow.
So they're betting huge on the over on that. Like I said, I think Oregon's going to try to run the ball to keep the ball out of Michael Penix's hands. Try to control the clock that way. But at Washington, you got to take the 3, and it's going over. I already bet the 67 because I think it's going to go up higher than that. These two teams average, if you put it should be 91. So
really?
That high. If you put them with their, if they average per year, they're both averages per year would be 91.
Well, the sheet says 2.5, so maybe that's moved, and that was
a little bit of money on Oregon.
Yeah.
But you're Washington home. That's a big advantage. You never know.
You like Washington?
I like Washington, but let's look at the weather first. Let's look at that weather, because if it gets rain, before you make the bet. You like the under.
I like Oregon.
Oh, you like Oregon because I think they play a little bit better defense and they run the ball, like I showed you. But if I'm going to make a bet, I'm going to take the home team and just in college.
I understand where you're coming, but man, I just can't put any money against Oregon is my problem.
Okay, it's gonna be one hell of a game.
It's gonna be a great game, and I think it's the second games of the week this Saturday. So make sure you get yourself a nice cold beverage and some popcorn and enjoy that good football game.
Yeah, it's a 12:30 start.
So
yeah.
All right, the other one I like is I'm going to go with Wyoming. Last week they beat Fresno State. I told you to take the money line, and you sure did. Plus 205. Said they could probably beat them at home. The one thing about it though is Fresno State shut out Wyoming in the second half. So that's one thing. Like Fresno State defense is still pretty solid. Wyoming played enough to win, but I'm taking Wyoming plus 10.5 at Air Force. I love the points in that. It's going to be a close game. Wyoming is a good team. It's that's a good rivalry between theirs. They play in Fort Collins and Colorado Springs, which is maybe a couple hours away. So that every year that's a good game. Usually they play on Halloween. So I'm thinking that's just too many points for Air Force to be covered. They do run the ball extremely well.
Boy, it's tough to bet against Air Force.
I just
so
Wyoming. I mean, if you can take care of Fresno State, and then I like Fresno State this week to bounce back at
Big Joe.
Utah. They're I think
Utah State,
and they're 5.5, right?
I didn't see that one. I didn't.
It's 5.5. Yeah. So I like Fresno State in that game. They'll bounce back. Yeah, I mean they did have a good. Utah did lose on them last week. They beat Colorado State. They smashed them in the second half. It was 40-something to 24. But we'll look into that, and we'll get that anyway. I'm pretty sure that's 5.5.
That's a Friday game, and it's Fresno State's up to 6.
6. Okay. So they're getting. Are they plus 6 or better?
It was -6. So that was Tuesday.
Okay.
Fresno State's favorite.
Yes.
So they shouldn't have any problem. They'll bounce back.
Okay.
They're going to split on the road wins. The Wyoming, then they have to go to Utah, and then they'll be back home.
Okay.
Bulldogs a good team. Like I said, they shut them out in the second half.
You're right.
So I like
they
their defense.
were ranked until
they were ranked out,
and they got a good quarterback out there.
Okay.
So I think he's getting healthy. All right. So also I like BYU +6 at TCU. I think that goes down. TCU has fell off the wagon.
Yeah, they're not the same.
BYU's bounced back at a good win against I think it was Houston last week. I like BYU +6. I really like the coach out there, and I think that they're a very solid team. So BYU, take the points.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to say USC, just take the over. USC, take the over, whatever it is. But I think Sam Hartman will bounce back. He's going to look a lot better against that USC team. So I think both teams will score. But like I tell you, Caleb Williams, 1,800 yards, 22. This is going to be his Heisman moment pick. So I'll take the +3. USC is getting 3. The reason I like it is because it's his Heisman game. This is going to be his Heisman game. When he beat Notre Dame last year, he had the pose. I think that you're going to see the same type of coverage where he's going to have to shine. So if he has the game that I think he's going to have, I think Notre Dame's got a hard time keeping up.
That makes total sense.
Well, as far as this game, you know how I hate USC. I know they're going to lose a game any time now because they don't play defense.
But they have to play Washington, Oregon. So.
They're going to lose a couple of those games, and this could very well be one of them. And there's rain in the forecast also, which could be an issue, which could hurt the over a little bit. Probably not.
I think it's I'm surprised how low. I think it was in the 60, low
63.
63.
But they're showing a USC practice where they're like spraying hoses at the players to the rain.
As they're in their shorts in Southern California in the beautiful weather, they're spraying them down to get used to Bend, South Bend, Indiana.
But they didn't want to just put the sprinklers on and just do that. No, we're just going to use hoses instead of.
So you're saying USC got hosed?
Yeah, I would say that.
They're going to lose.
What hosed? The host section is they're going to get hosed. They got completely hosed.
They're getting hosed.
Not as much as Miami got hosed with their bonehead golf by the coach.
Completely. But one game I got to mention, of course, UNLV at Nevada. Not that it's a good game to bet because UNLV is miles better than Nevada, but it is the battle for the Fremont Cannon, and it's up here in Reno this weekend.
2:00 game.
Should be a hell of a game.
And I think that they're getting 10 points, right? 9.5.
10 points.
I like that. Nevada's played good. I like Nevada. I think Nevada plays good.
Good ones.
UNLV's got some good wins. They beat I think the SEC team or somebody this year, Big 12 team, somebody out of conference.
They beat Purdue, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
By memory.
But they're 4-1.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, Nevada looks like they get better every week. Okay. I think they played very good against Fresno State. I think it was 28-9 or something like that, and they actually played better than that.
24-9.
24-9, yeah.
A win would be interesting because they don't have one of those yet.
So it's the Cannon game, right?
It's the Cannon. It's the Cannon.
Game. So
it's painted red right now.
It's painted red, and we can't have that. I think we just lean towards the Wolfpack and hope for a good game.
Was that all your picks there?
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
No, I think I'm at 7 or 8.
1, 2, 3, 4. I got 7 of them.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go the last one and give me that 8-1. I'll take it Nevada and the points.
Oh my! Okay.
I'm gonna go just that heart. That's my heart pick.
Heart bet.
Nothing wrong with that.
Dangerous. Okay. I guess we need to mention a little baseball scene as though we are in the playoffs.
That's it.
Texas,
speaking.
Texas, Baltimore, Texas, man. That manager, Bruce Bochy.
Excellent.
I was excellent at the beginning of the season. Why did I put money on
I
that?
did. Remember, I said 40-1 odds, and then that was in summer.
Yeah, exactly right.
You'd put $100 on that, you'd be looking really pretty right now because you are now. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. You have now moved on to the ALC championship game.
15-5 in
I love
playoff
it.
series.
I love
That's
it.
incredible. Baltimore hadn't been swept in 91 consecutive regular season series. Well, now they just got swept.
Right.
So, but they're a young team. No experience.
Oh, absolutely. And, their pitching staff, they have 3 rookies
Right.
that were pitching on that team. And they have one of the kids that started the game 1. I mean, he was in New Mexico State.
Yeah.
So last year. So, I mean, you go from
you got to have pitching.
but you go from pitching in the Mountain West Conference to, I guess what? Now you're pitching in the, ALC divisional game. So
Baltimore pitching didn't show up. I mean, Corey Seager got 5 walks in that one game Sunday. I mean, that's a playoff record.
Yeah,
you got to throw some strikes out there, guys. So Houston's up 2-1 over Minnesota. As we mentioned, no Central.
Was it 2-1? Is it 2-1?
I think so.
It is 2.
Houston beat.
Yeah, they did. But what I wanted to say is all 4 bye teams lost game 1.
Yeah.
We said that it was going to be a huge advantage for the bye teams, and
It didn't turn out that way. Yeah.
As we said, no Central teams have made the championship series since 2016. Now Minnesota needs 2 wins, the last 2 just to get there. It doesn't look good for them.
No.
So Houston close it out tonight.
It could very well happen.
And then they moved to the new format. This is a
2-2-1, right?
2-2-1, 3 best out of 5.
That's
I thought it was before in the divisional round. It was 4 out of 7. I believe it was.
They used to do that at one. Let's see. This
round, when they had the one game.
This round is no, it's just 5.
Just 5 this round.
So Arizona's up 2-0 against the Dodgers. Obviously, the Dodgers didn't have any pitching coming into the series. They're proving it.
Clayton Kershaw's postseason story continues. Sad song every time he's out there. It's a country song. So he just cannot win.
Good for Reno.
Tonight. Then Kershaw gets back on the mound for game 4. We'll see what happens there. Maybe he can redeem himself. And we had Atlanta and Philly tied 1-1. Last we checked, Philly was beating Atlanta like 6-1 or something.
No, it was higher than that. I think
7-1, and they're on their way. Philadelphia, that's just like almost like a NFL.
Harper had 2 home runs in that game, in today's game.
Best home crowd.
Yeah, maybe they should walk him like they did Corey Seager.
Mm-hmm. So winning 100 games just doesn't mean a whole lot, I guess, because Dodgers, 4 straight years they've done it, and that's a record. But Baltimore and the Dodgers, Atlanta's got 1 win out of all those teams, and Tampa Bay was the next best team. They didn't win any games either. And that AL East, way overrated, didn't win a single game.
We're talking about how they were all over 500 at one time.
Yeah, not a single 1 win in the playoffs.
That's really crazy.
Baltimore, Tampa Bay, or Toronto.
Looks like hockey.
Yeah, they scored 2 runs in the wild card games. Between the 2 of them, Toronto and only scored 1 run, and so did they.
So it appears right now it's going to be Arizona and Philly.
Nobody had that.
Okay, but does Arizona remind you a little bit
Houston and
Philly
Texas?
last year? I mean, don't they hit the ball very well? Don't you think? I mean, they're hot. They're swinging the ball. I mean, they're beating up the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have owned them all season long.
Well, and Philly's pitching too.
Yeah, Philly does have good pitching.
Better than any of these other teams that are left in the playoffs, even. Except Minnesota maybe had pretty good pitching.
Pitching great. So that's what they're hoping. I'm sure that game 5 if they can win tonight, then they'll play game 5.
I would think so.
Lopez, which his pitch spikes out. He was hitting 97, fastest he's thrown all year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Texas against Houston would be very interesting. Arizona against Philly is just unbelievable.
The Texas Tuesday. It'll be which one you're going to pick.
Boy, whoever has home field, I guess.
Texas.
I think Texas.
Texas. I take Texas no matter.
Texas and Philly.
Oh wow,
sure.
Texas and Philly right now.
I don't.
My Atlanta pick doesn't look that great.
No.
Okay.
Well, not today because they're definitely down 8-2 and they're getting ready to.
So we can think.
So they'll be. What will they be? They will be 2-1. It'll be 2-1. So
1-1 going in.
So they can close out tomorrow.
Well, Atlanta was kind of lucky to win the second game. They were down 4-0. Came back late.
What a great
the first
game that
8-5-3 double play.
That was excellent. That was excellent. Whole story there, guys.
Exactly.
Could have been.
Could have been a whole story. Yep.
So we thank Rockin, Ronnie, McKinnon for some of that information that we just used right there. NASCAR, of course, we're in the playoffs. It was elimination weekend.
Yeah, we went down to 8 now.
The Roval in Charlotte.
Right. AJ Allmendinger, he led 46 laps, Joe.
Who did you predict to win that, Gator? I think you picked
I
somebody.
think you picked Byron.
I picked
Oh, yeah, I
No.
think
You didn't pick Byron.
Well, I said Allmendinger.
You did.
That was one of the names
It was
you
one of the
mentioned.
names, but I don't think it was the one I said.
You named 3 or 4
All
different
right.
guys that had a shot.
Well, like I was saying, the reason I did that, you guys, is because we're talking about the rollables. And those are guys that you never really pick. You pick like Allmendinger, or you pick Reddick, or somebody that normally doesn't win.
road course guy.
Right. So
Well,
that's
Reddick
why
had-
I brought those guys
Well,
up.
you picked Reddick and he had the pole.
Well, yes, he
He had the
did.
pole and Scott was
Yes.
second, so the Toyotas looked like they were going to be good.
Yes.
But it was
The
who won?
Chevys.
Chevy. Well, I think it went Chevy Ford.
Correct.
Three, yeah.
Yep, correct. It went Allmendinger and then William Byron and Kyle Busch. But the bad thing about Kyle Busch is he got eliminated.
Yeah, he sure did.
So
That was my guy.
So you have Kyle
Sorry.
Busch, Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski, and Bubba Wallace that all got eliminated. And
Yeah.
those are huge
Ross
names.
Chastain
right?
was on my. I have one future left, and that's
Ross?
he was one. He's gone now.
okay.
Is Christopher Bell.
Oh, yeah,
He's the longest shot on the board right now.
Well, he is. He has one forever. He
He's
only
12-1.
Well, now we're down at 8, but we do have 4 of the Toyotas in there. And
Yeah,
we have
and
2 Fords and 2 Chevys. And I love the Toyotas, of course.
Yeah, you do.
You all know that I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take that this week.
Okay, let's talk a little bit. We're in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
South
talk about
Point
a little bit.
Now, the thing
Sink or
about
swim before we go into your picks. Here. How
Oh,
about
okay.
that?
Go ahead.
Can we do
Go
that
ahead.
a little bit? All
Sure.
right.
What do
Okay,
you
so
got?
Las Vegas.
Okay.
They've been racing there since 1998.
Okay.
So Joey Logano has
One
the
last
most
time.
wins
Mm-hmm.
since 1998 in Vegas with 3. Sink or swim.
Swim.
I'll go with it. I'll say swim because I have no idea.
The Fords are awesome, man.
Well, I think if you picked Chevy, you would have been a little bit better.
Okay.
Sport. Jimmy Johnson won in 2005,
Hmm.
2006, 2007, and 2010. So he has 4.
Oh, I'm thinking recent.
Recent. Well, since we've been open
recent.
since 1998. So
You're right.
So I would tell you that a little bit, but the second is Truex has 2 wins,
Hmm.
and I think Hamlin has 1 win there. Hamlin does have a win there.
Okay.
Logano has 2. So anyway, going into our picks this week, we have to think that what about the number 48 has won 4 times, and I think Byron's won. I mean, who's that? Bowman? Alex Bowman has won in Vegas.
Okay.
So that 48 has come across 5 times. Could that be an upset pick?
That would be an upset.
That would be an upset. He's already won in Vegas, and the Hendricks Motorsports does very well there.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like the Chevys.
Yeah, he's been eliminated for a while.
He's eliminated, but I'm just saying the 48.
Oh, that
I mean,
don't mean anything.
yeah, you can still win the race. You can still win the race.
That means he doesn't have a great car. This year.
48 has come up this year has not. He hasn't had a win all year. So
But I'm gonna go with William Byron.
Huh?
Chevys. Is he Hendricks? Is that Hendricks? Byron?
No. I don't
It
think
was
so.
Childress or
Yeah,
whatever it
Childress,
is.
yeah.
No, because Hendricks would be
I'm trying to remember now. But
No.
Anyway,
We'll get into that.
we'll get into that.
But Byron is the number 1 right now. He leads the points. So
Blaney does.
No, Blaney's out.
But no, Blaney's got 44,014
Yeah,
points.
Blaney's he's up there with Bell. He's
Okay.
longest shot on the board, still alive, hanging in there.
That could be betting wise, but I'm telling you point wise.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no.
pointing wise.
Well,
That's-
eight.
that's
eight.
points.
Eight.
Yes.
That's why I got the 8 there.
Okay.
Well, William Byron's okay, so you're right, Big Rizzo.
Right.
My fault. He has 4,041.
Right.
Don't have these in order, so my fault.
Okay.
His team's the best. But here's what I want to
So
say.
you like Blaney,
I like Blaney and I like the Chevys, but what I want to
but Blaney's a 4th.
this is the chance. No, I like William Byron.
You like William Byron?
I like
Okay.
Byron.
Okay.
He's at 575, and I don't like
I
that too much.
That's not bad.
No, but I do think the Chevy's going to win this time.
All right.
Logano won last time, but what I want to get across is like you guys, this is your chance to do the props. A lot of the races you don't get a lot of the props, but when they come out in Vegas, they always come out with how many yellow flags, the odd or even cars, things of that nature.
Okay.
So these are the times to bet those props, because I know props are very popular right now.
So if you wanted to go to a book like a William Hill or Caesars Circus, you can go there and bet these props, because you probably couldn't do it on your phone.
Right, and you don't get these props at all the races, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but
These
Vegas
are
puts it
suspected,
out.
but
Yeah.
when they're in Vegas, they do put these props out.
Right.
Numerous props.
Numerous props.
Okay.
Great, it's great.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, are we moving on? Are you-
Well, can I make a pick? I mean,
Oh, I didn't.
no, I mean, I know.
I thought you were gonna do
this.
I'm gonna take Tyler Reddick this week.
Not bad.
All right.
I think he's
That's not that big.
As long as he can keep from having mishaps in his pit like he had the other time. One time he had the guy run over the hose. He couldn't go around and do the other side because he
No, but he's had a good car almost all the time.
Yeah, he's usually right there. So he was pole setter last week. A little disappointed he didn't win. I like Tyler Reddick, and I like the Toyotas.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I love the Toyota.
Okay. I'm not going to make a pick because
Tyler Reddick. You're not gonna
no. I'm going to.
You just want to stay. No, it's not football. I mean,
I'm going to leave it to the experts on that.
Okay.
You guys are the ones really watching the races on Sunday afternoons, and I'm
really hard to watch.
It's
not that easy.
I just love that I can record it and watch it the next day. Monday morning, I gotta watch them again, but it's not the same as watching.
It's hard. It is hard.
It's in Vegas, and you got you pay for the NFL ticket. You don't want to watch the race,
right?
Or in the casino, and it's probably not going to be on any of the televisions unless you request it, and you can put it on in the corner.
And you're a good tipper.
Nobody ever said that.
Well, if you tip good, you might get the stuff you want on.
Yeah, there's some TVs on the side to put other stuff on.
Okay,
like baseball.
Yeah.
Well, I guarantee you can go to Fandango. It's on.
Okay, there you go. Fair enough. Hockey started yesterday. It was great. 3 games. I mean, nothing really great to.
They weren't that hard games to pick, Joe.
No, well,
you could easily think 3-0.
I think Pittsburgh lost, right? At home to
Chicago. Wasn't it 5-3?
They won.
They won.
They won 5-3.
But the rookie got an assist.
Yeah.
Yes, he sure did.
So we didn't dart.
He actually played really good. He had 5 shots on goal. I think he took like 12 shots.
He looks like he belongs there.
He looks like he belongs there, and he's looked like he's 14 in my eyes.
Been forever since Chicago's been relevant, so it's good to see a little bit of.
The one sad story: Barry Melrose had to retire.
That's my host story.
Oh, well, then we can say that.
Oh,
we're going to say that. And we do need to mention the rugby. The quarterfinals were down to 8.
So we have 4 games this weekend. Saturday as well as against Argentina. Ireland against New Zealand. That's the game to watch. The winner of that is the best in the world in my eyes. And England versus Fiji. I'm thinking Fiji is going to be a plus. I would take Fiji. And France and South Africa. All these games are great, Joe.
My schedule looks a little different.
Like a $5 parlay. Anyway. Ireland and Fiji, right?
That's what I would say.
Ireland, Fiji, and your parlay. There it is. What happened?
France is the team at home.
$5 parlay on this.
Yeah, France is the team at home. Therefore,
it's not going this week. It's not going on the show next week. I'm going to put a $5 parlay on that. See what it'll be.
It's going to be on NBC, and it's awesome that they're promoting it because it is an incredible sport. My 3rd favorite sport, by the way. But anyway, we should get down to the You Got Hosed. Obviously, these are the stories that looked like we had bets or stories that were looking fantastic, but in the end, something went terribly wrong, and people ended up getting hosed.
You got hosed.
Okay, well, Joe, this is really sad to me because this hurts my heart, actually. The hockey world changed Tuesday when Barry Melrose announced his retirement due to Barry being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Now, he's been in the game for 50 years, Joe. And almost 30 of those, he was an analyst for the mothership, which I can't say right now.
He's a great coach for the Kings.
Yeah. Oh, yes. With Wayne Gretzky coming to L.A. Now, this is where he's going to be missed the most as an analyst. And I'll tell you why. Wayne Gretzky, he said, and I quote, "He is bigger than any team. You see, hockey is more than a game. It's a community. A fine-tuned orchestra, and Barry was the conductor." Now, I personally wanted to have his job. He's watched more hockey than anybody in the world, and he gets paid for it. So it really hurts me. To me, it feels like he's died. He died is what it feels like to me. But so this week I'm going.
It's a host for us, but for him, it's good that he gets.
Exactly.
He gets to take care of
exactly right.
He has and gets his health back in order, and we'll miss the mullet haircut.
Yes.
And his laugh.
He was witty, wasn't he? Witty?
Great
So,
guy.
so this week I just have to say the whole hockey world, we all got hosed.
I totally agree with you there.
Okay, so I'm not going to bring up getting hosed at the USC practice. I'm going to say I got hosed in Vegas when I had Josh Jacobs over 69 yards rushing. Seemed like a
Green Bay.
Playing Green Bay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And what does he do? Yeah, he goes and gets 70 yards, first and 10. What are you going to do the second play? He just hit 70. What do you think they did the second play?
Sacked him back 10 yards.
Sacked him 1 yard back.
Oh, 1 yard.
Times and he never got it back. And I got hosed because they kneeled on it like the Miami should have kneeled on it instead of giving it to Josh Jacobs. I mean, you were going to. I got hosed on that. At first, I thought I had a winning ticket, and then I thought, well, I got hosed.
You got a push?
No,
You got
69 and a half. Get 70.
That's horrible. Well, you got whose story had to be the end of that Denver game. I was sitting next to a guy, Denver and the New York Jets, who had the teaser. Really nice teaser. Denver was plus 4.5 or 5.5. And the Jets are up 24-21. The Broncos have the ball. They can't possibly
Can't get hosed.
possibly get unless Russell Wilson fumbles it with 33 seconds left and it's returned for a touchdown.
Scoop and score.
And the score ended up being 34-21. So all
The
the
other ball scored.
any teasers or anything with Denver on it lost because of that play.
No. Thanks a lot, Russell.
Yeah. So anybody who bet Denver got hosed.
You got hosed.
Okay, yeah, that's it, guys. Great show. I think got some great information, great picks. Hope you guys are making some money out there. You guys and gals out there betting the sports. It's always fun with the NFL. Great stuff. We're going to have Gators hot hockey picks are going to be coming up. Okay, it's this time that we take the picks for your
hockey picks
there.
Kind of early in the season, but you got some picks already. Go.
Yeah.
Gator.
Well, let me start. I really like the Hart Trophy winner. Now, Connor McDavid won it last year, and he's at a minus 125 right now. But how can you not take Nathan McKinnon at 12-1? If anything happens to Connor, McKinnon is going to win that Hart Trophy.
Okay, and when you're doing your futures this far in advance, just to remind you, always put it on your phone because you can lose your ticket. If you have it on your phone, you make those future bets. It stays on, and you never lose your phone. Well, even if you lose your phone, the account stays.
And if you don't have a phone, please keep your tickets in one place. All of them in the same
and make sure
place.
there's not a fire, flood, or anything. Make sure it's in the firebox.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so Thursday I have two games. The Rangers are playing Buffalo. In Buffalo, I'm going to take the Rangers. Vegas is playing San Jose, and actually what I love about San Jose is they actually saying that they are rebuilding this year. First time in like 3 years that they said that.
Given the last 3 years, and now we're finally, you should have been rebuilding for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. My point. Friday, I have one game. Arizona's playing New Jersey. New Jersey should just spank the crap out of them.
All right.
Saturday, I have I have a lot on Saturday. I have Nashville at Boston. Boston should win pretty simple. Rangers at Columbus. You're taking the Rangers. Anaheim's at Vegas. Vegas, if you go off of Messier last night, says they look like a well-oiled machine.
Oh, thank you, Messier. Good pick.
Early.
Good pick.
It's a little early for that. I kind of take that with a grain of salt. But anyways, I'm taking Vegas. And then we have Vancouver over Edmonton. Now, what's funny about this is the third time these two teams have opened the season. And Edmonton has won both of those. I'm going to take Edmonton again.
Edmonton.
And Colorado is playing San Jose. I'm going to have to take Colorado. How can you take San Jose? Now, Monday, you put all those together. That looks pretty nice, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Monday, Chicago is at Toronto. Got to take Toronto. I know Chicago played pretty decent, but Toronto's still a better team. And my last pick on Monday will be Arizona at the Rangers. And the Rangers, in my eyes, I picked them 3 times. They're going to be 3-0.
All right.
Well, you're loving the Rangers to start it off.
Yeah, I like the Rangers a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll have these picks on our website also. If you would like to do the 7-game parlay, can you tease these, or can you do a teaser on these? If we did this many, can you tease a hockey game? But we never suggest that you do the puck line on these picks.
No.
We always do the money line. And,
Parlay the money line.
parlay-
Parlay the minuses. I like to round robin the pluses personally.
Okay.
And
Good stuff.
some good picks.
So
Yeah.
signing off from Covering the Field. Love you guys. Make those picks, make that money. And we'll see you next week on Covering the Field.
You've been listening to Covering the Field. Email us at coveringthefield@gmail.com for all your comments or questions. Find us on Twitter @CoveringField. And of course, always check out the website for our picks of the week and updated articles. coveringthefield.com.